Are the Cincinnati Bengals the 2026 Kings of the AFC North?
I did say this for the Ravens. I do think the Bengals make the playoffs, but I don't see them winning the division.
So you think it stays with the Ravens? Or not stays with the
Not
Ravens, but
stays,
you
but
think the Ravens
yeah. I think that the Bengals get second place around the 11 and 5 mark.
11 and 6?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
I think the Bengals do win the AFC North this year.
Interesting.
So a lot of interesting things happened offseason, a lot of changes that we saw, especially in this division in the AFC North.
Not Zach Taylor, the only coach that survived, the one that didn't
Exactly.
survive, that didn't deserve to survive the
Th
most.
that was going to be my question for you. In a division where the Ravens, Steelers, and Browns all got new head coaches, how much of a surprise is that Zach Taylor is still there with the Bengals?
It's very surprising because he didn't deserve it.
So this is a make or break year for him.
Yeah,
We haven't done a list yet, but if we did a list of coaches on the hot seat,
he would be definitely top three on the hot seat.
yeah, there's got to be production there. There's got to be signs of life with the Bengals this year. So yeah, I think that's one of the interesting things I know we've looked at with each of these previews that we've done. We're looking at our second team here in the AFC North after the Ravens. But we've looked at the coaches, we looked at the offense and the defense, and then just kind of how it all comes together. So looking at the Bengals, there's definitely been a lot of pressure and talk and opinions people have had about whether he should be the head coach. You know, they've
Yeah,
had,
I've heard about it from my friend who is a Bengals fan, and he's not very big on the Bengals at all, with Zach Taylor being on there. I mean, obviously he talks about it. He's very biased because he loves the Bengals, but he hates Zach Taylor and he wants him gone. And he was genuinely yelling when I went back to school, and he was like, "We kept Zach Taylor." I was like, "Dang, that sucks."
yeah. So the Bengals have been an interesting mix because it wasn't that long ago that they made it to the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
and yet the last couple years they haven't had that same degree of success despite having Joe Burrows. So
you have the skill, you have the talent. With all the injuries and just inconsistencies, they just need to show that they can actually be a winning team.
yeah, there's been different issues at different times, different excuses that you could make. But going into this season, it looks like the team has really made an effort to address those. So I think really the results, the production, what we see, we can place as Zach Taylor. So I think
Yeah,
if they win, we can say you deserve the credit. If they lose, time to move on. So yeah, I think this is a big year, a make or break year for Zach and the team on whether they continue to go forward. I think that that if there's any kind of prolonged losing streak, I think we could see him gone before the end of the season.
yeah,
But yeah, so I think that he's got some ability, but a mixed bag of results. So we'll definitely watch closely and see how it goes from the coaching standpoint with Zach Taylor and the Bengals. If we look at the offense, though, how do you feel about the offense this year?
so I do think there was a little bit going on because, you're led by Joe Burrow, who is definitely a top five QB in the league. With some stuff, I don't know if I consider him a top three right now, like I would have considered him last year going into it. But I generally consider him a top five, and I think everyone should agree with me on that. So he's got the talent, and he's one of the best QBs at accuracy in the league. Like, arguably the best with his accuracy. Like, he barely ever overthrows someone or anything like that. He is on point nearly the whole game. So he has the talent, and, he's put it on, like, he's done it. He's used it. Like, they made the Super Bowl in one of his first years. Like, he just completely flipped the switch on that Bengals team. They finished with the worst record in the league, and they ended up getting Joe Burrow. Then a bit later, they made the Super Bowl. Like they built around him, and getting his LSU teammate in Jamar Chase, that was huge because they already had chemistry. And now looking at Jamar Chase, he is a bona fide top three wide receiver. Like you can say other things, but he is a top three wide receiver.
Absolutely.
And, he might miss some games too from injury, like we've seen with Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow, he's had countless injuries that have derailed a lot of his seasons. Like last season, he missed like a whole lot of it
Hmm.
due to toe turf, I believe. And Jamar Chase, he missed a few games last year. Obviously, wide receiver room, it takes a lot of hits. And the other guys like that T. Higgins concussion, that was bad. But Jamar Chase is amazing. You look at T. Higgins, that guy could be a wide receiver one on a whole lot of teams.
Hmm.
Like he's
Absolutely.
got the height, he's got the hands, and he's really skilled. And you look at receiving core, either you look at the wide receiver one or you look at the whole team. But honestly, when you don't do it like when you do it like that, T. Higgins, like he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league, and I think he deserves a lot more
Yeah,
chances.
I don't know if he's underrated, but he definitely is one of the best number two receivers. I think the Bengals have one of the best receiving duos. When you look at quarterbacks, like if you name the top quarterbacks, like Burrow has like the best receivers. Like he's got better receivers
What about Matthew Stafford?
than Josh Allen. He's got better than Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Matt Stafford. I think that a large part of his success is the team as a whole. Like I think
They've built
he,
around him well, though. I will say that.
yeah, and and the Rams definitely have one of the better duos there, top five as well. But yeah, so you have one of the best quarterbacks. You have one of the best, not just top wide receivers, but one of the best duos.
And
You have depth at tight end.
I mean, you have Jaceki, who people honestly I call him underrated too. Like he's kind of old now, but he can still get a few nice catches in there. And you got a Yosivas. He is young. He's really really talented. I'm kind of blanking on who else there is, but I know there's a lot of people on that Bengals offense that are gonna like that shine. And
Yeah, there's Sample, there's Hudson. Those are two tight end guys they have. I think Chase Brown is underrated as a
yeah.
running back. I thought that we saw a lot that he was able to do last year that was positive. So I think that's pretty exciting for the team. And then I think Samaje Perine that he's a good
Oh yeah, P Ryan's
backup
good.
running back as well. He can do a lot of
Do
different things.
you remember the backup QB that they got? Because I know they got Josh Johnson to help booster that as a third string. Oh, they have Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco is the backup.
So that is a decent QB room as well. You have Johnson and you have Flacco to back Burrow up, and they're serviceable if they have to play, and they can help Burrow a little bit if he needs it. And obviously Burrow's the star, but
Yeah, and so one of the issues they had before was just injuries and challenges with the offensive line. But they're bringing back the same offensive line, so there's some stability in that these guys have gotten time to play with each other, and I think that really goes a long way with the offensive line when you
yeah.
when you know what the guy next to you is doing, and you have those reps in together.
Hopefully it
So
works though, because I don't want Burrow to pull an Andrew Luck on us.
no, that would be a shame, but I think the line is going to do better, and they've got all the offensive weapons. I think to really compete for one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah. So I would call it a top three offense. I mean, there are other ones like the Rams or the Lions or the Seahawks, something like that you'd put higher. But I do believe they're genuinely very talented on offense. But, then you look at the defense, and it is, it's caused Burrow to be destroyed. Like he has to try and play hero nearly every game because, the defense allows like 35 points a game at least.
Yeah, that was the thing last year is just how poor the defense was. That even when the Bengals were putting up points, with Flacco or anyone else out there, they just couldn't keep up with how many points the defense gave up. So yeah, that
Yeah,
definitely was a weakness. Do you feel like that's changed
I
for this
think
year?
they got a few guys. They got Dexter Lawrence, and you can put it somewhere. You can say he's washed. You can say he's old. You can say he's not going to be good. But I trust in Dexter Lawrence, and I do think he'll be good. I'm a little excited to see what that defense can do. Am I a little too optimistic? Probably. Maybe it'll be bad still, but I think it'll be better than last year.
I think the defense is going to look different from last year, and I think they really focused on the line,
Yeah.
and we're going to see what they've invested in it because they traded for Dexter Lawrence, Boye Mafe, Jonathan Allen, all on the defensive line. So that's
Yeah.
something that they went big on there. Shamar Stewart, I know he got injured in training camp, so I don't know his exact status right now, but he gives them depth if he's there. They drafted Cassius Howell, so I think all that attention to the defensive line can really transform the defense right there at the, where the game starts in the trenches. So I think that it's a revamped defense that's gonna hold its own a lot more often and keep the Bengals in a lot more games and have a
Yeah.
chance to be a lot more competitive.
What do you think about the kicker, Evan McPherson?
I think he's pretty solid.
Yeah. I like when you look at these kickers, they're basically the bad, there's the bad ones that are really bad, and they're the really good ones. And then everyone else, no one really talks about them. Like no one talks about Fearson. No one talks about McManus or Jake Bates or all these other guys, but then you're like, "Oh, well, what are the bad ones?" Well, Young Hoku, for example. Well,
Hmm.
then you're like, oh, the good ones, Brandon Aubrey, Cameron Dicker, Cam Little. Like,
Unless you're one of the top five kickers, I think it's better not to be talked about because more often than not, that means that you're missing kicks. A lot of times they don't get credit for doing what they're expected to like
yeah,
they should.
I do believe that he is a serviceable kicker for the Bengals. And, there were some moments that were a little iffy, and maybe he can do better with them. But I do believe that he's going to be good.
Yeah, like if we look at what he did last year, 25 out of 28 field goals. The only ones he missed were longer than 50. So anything inside of 50, he made. He made a long of 63. And
That's pretty
that's
interesting.
his career long. So he really showed some ability to do that. He did miss three extra points, but from a field goal standpoint, he definitely I think was pretty consistent there. Um,
Also, on the offense, I do believe Chase Brown just had his first 1,000 yard season.
yeah.
It's been a little bit coming. I mean, he's still very young, and when Joe Mixon was here, he wasn't the starter. But I'd say it's big. I'm big on Chase Brown. I do think he's one of those underrated running backs that can get a lot done. So I'm happy that he made that. And as a Browns fan, I don't like the Bengals very much, but I do tolerate them.
Hmm.
I found the Bengals more than anyone else in the division. I like them more than the Steelers and the Ravens.
Hmm.
Maybe it's because we share a state. Maybe that should make us bigger rivals, but we're basically the same team, like with the colors and everything.
Similar with
Yeah,
the orange, yeah.
I mean the same guy made them, but I do hope the Bengals make the playoffs.
So that's kind of your feeling that they're like a wild card team.
Yeah, I
Um,
think
the,
they get fifth or sixth seed.
so Ravens get it, and then the Bengals
Yeah,
lock in with
I
that.
think they
I
get around 11-6 or 10-7.
I think one of the things in their favor too is that they play a pretty reasonable
They
schedule.
play a very easy schedule. There's maybe
Um,
4 or 5 games that they aren't in, and it's the Bengals team. They're probably gonna lose a few that they should have won. Like maybe they drop a loss to like the Commanders or something. But
they play the Steelers twice, they play the Browns twice.
so I think they beat the beat the Browns one time.
Hmm.
I think they beat the Steelers both times.
They play the Dolphins,
That's an easy win.
they play the Titans,
That's a win.
they play the Falcons,
That's a win.
they play the Commanders,
That's a loss, I'm gonna say.
they play the Saints,
That's a loss.
they play the Panthers,
That's a win.
the Colts.
Win.
So I think there's a lot of winnable games there. I know they play some other teams too.
Like they play the Texans.
They play the Texans, they play the Ravens twice, they play the Chiefs. So there's some.
I think they're gonna get a few wins. Like, they're gonna pick up a win on the Chiefs, I'd say. And they're gonna split with the Ravens. They're gonna lose to the Texans, obviously. And I think they're gonna win in week 1 in their opener.
Against the Bucks.
Yeah. I mean, with Joe Burrow, he hasn't been very consistent with his the first few weeks of every season. He's very hit or miss at the start of a season, and he gets better gradually. But I think this is the season where he opens off with a big win. And I'm saying that as a Bucks fan. I'm very disappointed with my team.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about them soon,
Yeah, when
but
we get down to the
definitely
South,
interesting what's going on there. But yeah, so for me, I think the Bengals win the AFC North. I think that we already talked about the Ravens. I think they miss the playoffs. So, and I don't think that the Browns or Steelers are going to be very dominant
I said
overall.
Ravens win the North. You said they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I say Ravens miss the playoffs, so I think the Bengals win it pretty comfortably, and I think looking at their record that this is a team that could be like 12 and 5 in that kind of area.
I think the Ravens make 12 and 5, and with that tie, I think they get the edge over them. I think they could both finish 12 and 5, but I think the Bengals get like the fifth seed and the Ravens get like the third.
Okay. So yeah, I think we're both pretty high on the Bengals with how good their offense is
Yeah,
and the improvements on the defense. I think this is a team that you can feel good about, you can feel confident, you can look forward to watching, which hasn't always been the case.
yeah. I
All
think
right.
I think that does that.
Yeah, I think that's good for us here. So we'll go ahead and we'll lock this one in and then we'll come back. You want to do Browns or Steelers next?
I think we'll do Steelers probably.
All right, we'll come back with the Steelers here in the next few days and look at that. And also check in with us. We'll have more NFL stuff, maybe some hot takes here soon. We'll have some other leagues that we're watching, and there's a lot of news right now, a lot of things going
Yeah.
on, and so we'll try and keep putting that out there for you. So keep checking in, like, subscribe, comment, and let us know what you think.